on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right here by my side. Welcome to everyone. We're so excited that you're here. If you're one of our regular listeners, thank you. We love you. We love that you've been on this journey with us. And if you are a first-time listener, we welcome you. Please check out our library. We've got over 400 episodes. In fact, we're coming close to 500 episodes here very soon. So we're so excited that you're here on this journey with us. So
and this is our first live podcast.
It is our first live podcast. Yes.
We have a little bit of technical difficulties,
That's
but we're
right.
good.
So if we look a little nervous, now you know why. All right. So iodized salt.
Iodized salt.
Let's talk about iodized salt. Everybody knows iodized salt. You know that little round
The
Morton's salt. It's got the little girl with the umbrella and the salt going back or I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's raining salt.
It's raining salt.
It's raining salt. That's
Yes.
right. So that is iodized salt. And actually, how did this idea even come up?
Well, we have a lot of people ask about salt intake
okay.
on consults that I do with them, and
Yeah.
because I'm encouraging them to eat salt,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're like, "But my doctor told me I shouldn't eat salt."
Sure.
And so I tell them, okay, so you shouldn't eat iodized salt, processed salt, but you should absolutely eat other salts.
Yes.
And so we've had a lot of patients ask about, well, what's the difference? Why is one better than the other? And so I thought it would be good to do a podcast.
I think it's a great podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Iodized salt. So apparently there was quite a iodine deficiency in America back in the early 1920s. I think that the one of the biggest issues was the thyroid, okay, because your body needs iodine, and one of the main organs that uses it is a thyroid. So very important as far as the production of thyroid hormone. And so in 1924, they started adding iodine to salt, and that pretty much fixed the problem. I mean, I don't know if it fixed it for everyone, but it was. I mean, that was definitely the answer to the issue that they were running to with a lot of people having thyroid issues, and so up to this day, we continue to have iodized salt. The problem is that salt that is out there is a processed salt, okay? And if you've been listening to us, and even if you haven't been listening to us, we are very very anti-processed, anything processed, okay? Does it mean that we don't eat processed food? No. I mean, we're not perfect. I mean, look at us. Do we look perfect? We're not perfect. So we definitely eat processed food every once in a while if we're in a situation where there's nothing else and we're starving, but we try not to put ourselves into that situation. But especially in America, there's a ton of processed food everywhere, restaurants, you go to the grocery store. I mean, so much of our food is processed, and our goal is to try to get people to eat fresh. So salt, iodized salt, is typically a processed salt, which means that there have been chemicals used in the process of the salt being iodized, and who knows what else is in the salt.
Yeah, and it's the chemicals that are actually making us sick. So that's what we talk like a lot about that when we talk about wheat being processed. But salt is the same way. Salt inherently is actually very healthy for us, right? Our body is a giant saltwater bag. We need salt. We need to intake salt. It's electrolytes. But again, a lot of doctors have told their patients stay away from salt, and that is very bad advice, okay? Because we need salt. It's just that the salt that is that overly processed iodized salt, like Dr. Cruz says, it goes through a process where chemicals are added, and everything that's good about that salt is stripped from it, okay? And so you're now eating this deficient salt that has all these chemicals added, and it's the chemicals that are affecting our body. It's the chemicals that are affecting our heart, not the salt itself, okay? So trying to educate people about iodized salt, and sometimes patients will tell me, well, if I don't eat iodized salt, where am I going to get my iodine? Okay, well, this is not the 1930s.
Right.
Okay, there's actually a lot of ways we get iodine in our diet today, to the point where we don't need to be supplementing iodine,
Yeah.
okay, through salt. So just wanted to make sure we spoke about the different types of salts that are a little bit healthier than iodized salt. So like kosher salts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sea salt, the Himalayan, the pink Himalayan salts. We use a salt that's a sea salt. The brand is called Real Salt. And so, those salts are not processed. They don't have iodine. They don't have iodine. So back to what you were saying, people are concerned about getting iodine. You actually can get iodine in your diet. Okay. And, you can get iodine. I mean, one of the biggest sources of iodine is sea fish or shellfish, fish, sea vegetables. Do you know what that is?
Like seaweed.
Seaweed, exactly.
Yes.
Seaweed. I just thought that was kind of cool. Them calling
Sea
it sea vegetables. I was like, sea vegetables. So yeah, seaweed, kelp. I mean, those are all great sources of iodine. There are also certain fruit that have iodine, like cranberries, pineapple, strawberries. Those are sources of iodine. You can also get iodine in dairy. You can get iodine in eggs. And actually, one of the things I was reading about as far as dairy, that you actually might get less than you may have years ago because of the way, so apparently, and I don't know how far back, maybe it's not that long ago, maybe it's decades ago, but when the farmers would clean the cow's teats, they would use like an iodine sort of formula, a little iodine cleanser, septic cleanser. And so some of that iodine from that iodine septic cleanser would seep into their system. And so then you could get it in milk. You could get iodine in yogurt. You could get iodine in chicken because chicken will eat fish feed. Let's see, what else? Those are some of the ways that you can get iodine. So you definitely can get iodine in your diet. There's no question about it. So deficiencies of iodine. So if you don't get enough iodine, what are some of the issues? Well, like we talked about earlier on, thyroid. Thyroid is a big thing. And apparently when women are pregnant and pregnant women, they actually need more iodine. And so, because now they have a baby, a fetus growing in them, that's going to need the iodine also. And so, one of the ways to test for like, well, how do I know if I'm getting enough iodine? I thought this was actually pretty fascinating too. They talked about getting one of those iodine antiseptic solutions. And I don't know about you, but I remember my mom.
Up with
Did you
those.
guys have it?
Yes, we did.
My mom had it.
Yeah.
And actually, I remember they had little bottle that had like a little stick on the thing that you would unscrew.
Yeah.
And then you would just literally just rub it on your little boo-boo.
Yeah.
On your little, whatever you got.
Your little ouchie.
Your little ouchie. But one of the things that we're talking about is to get like an iodine antiseptic type solution, get a cotton ball, and then maybe like in your forearm or even in your thigh where there's soft skin, like color like a 2-inch circle with the iodine, and then watch to see how quickly it absorbs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if it absorbs really fast, that means you're deficient.
You're deficient.
Okay.
Exactly. And they were using, I think it was like 6 or 8 hours as the cutoff. So
do they even still sell that iodine?
I don't know.
I haven't even seen it, but I
know.
haven't looked for it either. So
yeah, I haven't looked for it either.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
so it may be out there, but I just thought, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like an old-fashioned test. I mean, honestly, I think that probably the biggest ways are more symptomatic, based on symptoms. I mean, if you're sluggish, if you're tired, one of the easiest ways is for someone to test your thyroid function. because the thyroid, I mean, you do need iodine even for other things, like in women for ovarian and breast health. But the thyroid is the main organ that where you may start seeing issues, hypothyroid, because you're not getting enough iodine to make the thyroid hormone. And so, checking your thyroid levels is one, and that's actually a very commonly run test. So anyways, I thought it was pretty fascinating.
It's a nice overview of iodine.
Yeah, I really want to get some iodine antiseptic and
for your ouchies.
For my ouchies, and I do want to do that test with the cotton ball and do it on you and on me.
So it's supposed to absorb, but it depends on how quickly it absorbs. So if it absorbs super, super fast.
So I'll have to do a little more research on that test. They were used, I believe that it was, if it's absorbed within 6 hours, that you probably are deficient, whereas if it's still sitting and looks the same, the coloration looks the same after 6 hours, you probably have enough iodine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we actually had some people on our live. So we're just going to go ahead and say shout out to Rita. Hi to you, Rita. Thanks for listening today.
Awesome.
We hope you're a longtime listener of ours. And yeah, if you want to connect with us, the best way to connect with us is on our website, drlizcruz.com. Please, if you're interested in getting a free 30-minute wellness consult, there's a little magenta colored button on the homepage you can click, and you can sign up for a free 30-minute consult with a holistic nutritionist. And please subscribe to the show so that other people just like you can find us. Give us a 5 stars too, so that other people just like you can find us. And we'll look forward to our next podcast, which is officially our 500th podcast.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. That's right. We've been doing this over 10 years.
10 years.
500.
So we will look forward to catching you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.